Revolutionary greetings, comrades. This video is meant for our new recruits in the Zimbabwe Communist Party. As you would know, we recruit mainly from the trade union movement, residents associations, youth formations, and other social formations. When we recruit these members, some of them are swayed, so to speak, by the liberal definition of a state. So we are assisting them as part of a political education in defining the state, because some of them have been conditioned by the liberal media that Zimbabwe is a failed state, and want to demonstrate in this video so that they get assisted that indeed Zimbabwe remains a strong state. Yes, government does not deliver social services to citizens, be it quality education, be it healthcare facilities, and so on and so on. But that does not mean Zimbabwe is a failed state. It is not. It is a strong state. We will demonstrate. We also remind comrades that it is important to read what Renning wrote in 1917, The State and Revolution, so that comrades will have a better understanding of the state, because he traces it from the beginning and how the state emerged, or how the state came into being. So in the article, he defines the state. He speaks to the what we normally refer to as state apparatus, the special bodies of armed men, prisons, police, etc. He does explain that the state is an instrument for the exploitation of the oppressed class. So it's important that comrades read. And of course, he then concludes by talking of the withering away of the state, and of course the violent revolution, which we'll not discuss in this video. But comrades, as you would know, that the state is an organ of class rule. It advances the interest of one class over the other. So the Zimbabwean state has not failed the class that it represents. Remember, when we were launching the party in 2017, we said ours is a struggle against imperialism and a struggle against the looting class. So the Zimbabwean state represents the interest of the looting class, or what is commonly known as the bourgeois class, but we have narrowed down to the looting class. So the Zimbabwean state remains strong. It remains advancing and protecting the interests of that class. So the Zimbabwean state, therefore, has not failed that class that it represents. So it therefore cannot define Zimbabwean state or Zimbabwe as a failed state. It cannot be, because it remains strong. The current ongoing violence that we see against the main opposition is testimony to that Zimbabwe is a strong state. When opposition parties want to hold rallies, they are told that there is no manpower for the police to ensure that for the police to provide protection. They would claim there's no manpower. But if then they go ahead, as we have seen previously, you will see indeed that the state does exist. It is in control. You will see how it deploys the instruments of coercion, the police, the army, against the members of the opposition. If you were to try to threaten the state or to threaten the ruling class, the state will be quick to descend on you. So that on its own tells you that Zimbabwe remains a strong state. We can only get to say Zimbabwe is a failed state. It if it fails to collect taxes, it has never failed to collect taxes. They even now say they collect cell phone fees. So they collect taxes, they have prisons, they have the army, they have the police, they have the CIO, that all are used as instruments to protect the interests of the ruling class. So it is not a failed state. But let's assume in one part of Zimbabwe, say in Manicaland, as an example, the state officials can no longer get into because they've been prevented by citizens. Then you will say Zimbabwe is a failed state because it is failing to collect taxes in one part of the country. Officials of the ruling class or even the ruling party cannot get to one corner of the country because either there is war or what they will call rebels. But that's not the case. So therefore, you cannot say Zimbabwe is a failed state. What we agree on is that the state does not deliver basic services to the majority of citizens. That is correct. Because the state, or the Zimbabwean state to be precise, does not represent the interests of the majority as a whole. It represents one class. You saw during the pandemic that when we're told that we're running short of health centers, the state had to build a well-equipped hospital just for the rich only, so that they were to receive attention whenever that COVID. But the rest were left to die in general hospitals where these hospitals are not equipped. But for the ruling elite, a special hospital was built for them because the state advances the interests of one class over the other. So there is no way at this stage where the state has failed to take care of the class that it represents. This is the class that buys top of the range vehicles from Germany and elsewhere in Europe. We see them getting delivered at the Robert Mugabe International Airport in Harare. This is it is the state that will allow government officials to smuggle gold. We say smuggle gold, but they simply take the gold out of the country and sell it in Dubai and elsewhere. They are not being arrested. Plundering of resources, they are not being arrested. But if you threaten the state, you carry an AK-47 and you are rumored to have been known that you are carrying an AK-47, within 30 minutes the state will have descended on you. If you were to try in some mountainous area in Zimbabwe to try and train a military wing, you will then understand that Zimbabwe is a strong state because it is going to descend on you heavily and will be used as an example to others who might be thinking so. So this is why, comrades, it's important that we understand that the state represents the interest of one class over the other. So the Zimbabwean state does not represent the interests of the working class. This is why we must build the Zimbabwe Communist Party. We must build trade union formations as progressive formations. We must build social movements as progressive social movements, not imperialist funded NGOs. No. we must build working class NGOs. Then mobilize the whole society. And the communists, together with the workers, must take over political power. It is once the working class and peasants gain hegemony over the state and control the state apparatus, that the state will begin to advance the interests of the working class, because the working class will have captured state power. This is why we want state power. We are always accused of not contesting bourgeois elections. And we've said, we have never said we will not contest. We will when the time is right for us to do so. But we exist to capture the state, so that we transform the state, so that the state does not advance the interests of the looting class, but we capture and transform it to advance the interests of the working class. The state currently, as it is constituted, as I've said, it advances the interests of the ruling class, which is the looting class. It has on its side the courts. It is the courts that will pass judgment on anyone who threatens the rule of the ruling class, that is of the looting class. The judges in our courts advance the interests of the looting class because they're an instrument of the ruling class. Parliament, this is why we call it a bourgeoisie parliament. It passes laws to advance the interests of the ruling class and oppress the working class and peasants. The executive, it advances the interest of the looting class, the prisons, and so forth. So it's important, therefore, that we build unity and the workers gain hegemony over the state. It is then that workers will be in charge of the state. So, as I'm concluding, comrades, which will assist in our study groups, is that the state remains in Zimbabwe as it is. It's a tool in the hands of the ruling elite. They use the state apparatus to oppress, to imprison, to beat up, if I were to use this word, anyone who threatens its rule. So Zimbabwe is not a failed state. It is a strong state. Amandla, comrades.